Britney Spears really needs no special introduction. She's consistently been one of the world's most famous people for the better part of 2 decades, and to this day, the world still can't get enough of Britney. However, for all the glitz and glamour that comes with being the world's biggest pop star, there are equal parts grief and trauma. From pop princess, to international train wreck, to dance diva, to most recently, thriving survivor and symbol of freedom. Britney has had an unprecedented 20-plus year career. She's the youngest recording artist to receive a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. She's had 8 Grammy nominations and has sold an estimated 200 million units worldwide. But she's also been connected to some of the wildest and darkest stories in the entertainment industry. In this Iceberg, we'll be peering behind the curtain of Miss American Dream and looking into the chaos and turmoil of her personal life and analysing the interesting laws surrounding her work in the industry. I can already tell that this video is going to be rather lengthy, so we're going to be actually splitting it up into 2 parts. We'll tackle the top half of the iceberg in this video, and in part 2, we'll scope out the bottom half. This iceberg was also created by Reddit user FredWare1998, so thank you so much for your creation. Before we get into the video as well, if you enjoy this and would like to see more content like this, make sure you're liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Alright, on to tier 1. Tier 1, playback. This refers to the fact that Britney, when performing live, will often use playback as opposed to her live vocals. Although a common practice within the industry now, it was quite the controversy back in the day. Britney has gone on record saying that the lip sync claims really piss her off because, quote unquote, I'm dancing so much. I do have a little bit of playback, but there's a mixture of my voice in the playback. Snake of the VMAs 2001. In 2001, Britney humbly graced the VMAs stage and performed Slave For You with an albino Burmese python draped around her shoulders. This has basically etched its way into the unofficial 2000s Pop Culture Hall of Fame of iconic moments. The python, which has been affectionately nicknamed Banana, is still alive and thriving, and has actually grown from 6 feet to nearly 15 feet, or 14.572 meters for those of us using the metric system. According to MTV, handler Mike Hanno stated that he was super impressed with Brit's commitment during rehearsals, especially considering her fear of snakes, which would turn out to be a much needed experience as she would find herself later on down the track surrounded by snakes. Star Research. I'm assuming this is actually referring to Star Search, which was a reality TV program that Britney competed on when she was just 10 years old. Star Search ran from 1983 to 1995 and featured contestants who would compete against the champion of their assigned category in an attempt to beat the said champion and claim the title as their own. I guess in a way it was kind of like a scaled down version of America's Got Talent, with just a splash of child exploitation added in for good measure. Star Search churned out a plethora of notable acts that are still relevant today, from Backstreet Boys to Destiny's Child to Adam Sandler and even Dave Chappelle. And of course, we can't forget that Star Search introduced the world to a tiny little singer with a gigantic voice. Britney's Star Search performance shows off her incredible vocal tone and her destined star power, and although she didn't win, it shows that she's a natural-born performer. Mickey Mouse Club. The Mickey Mouse Club was a children's variety program that showcased musical acts, comedy sketches, and educational material wrapped up in a Disney package. Conceived in the 50s, the program was rebooted for a modern audience from 1989 to 1995. Britney exploded onto screens in 1993 as a cast member on the all-new Mickey Mouse Clubhouse as a Mouseketeer, alongside Ryan Gosling, Christina Aguilera, and ex-boy toy Justin Timberlake. The show allowed Britney to show off her vocal chops and steal the hearts of millions as she kickstarted her career as a performer. Rolling Stone's 1999 cover. At just 17 years old, Britney was blasted front and centre onto the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. The controversial image depicts the then underage star, dressed in her underwear, clutching a telephone in one hand and a Tinky Winky Teletubby plush in the other. The image depicts Spears as a type of jailbait Lolita figure. Morse of the Chicago Maroon stated, "She was too young to really understand the implications of the photos, but the adults around her did, and took advantage of her naivete to present her in an objectified manner." The magazine also features other sexualized images of the then 17-year-old, and it's really weird when you remember that she is literally a child. accident on the set of the Oops I Did It Again music video refers to an accident that occurred on the set of the Oops I Did It Again music video. Reportedly, part or all of a camera fell on Brit's head when filming, causing her to receive 4 stitches and a possible minor concussion, according to Britney Spears, Britney's mother. Britney's mum told MTV that Britney rested for 4 hours, but being the trooper she is, quickly got back to work to finish the music video. Baby voice. Britney's voice is defined by its vocal fry and nasal quality, and it's often referred to as her baby voice, as it somewhat resembles that of a baby's cry. The theory states that Britney's real voice, which is a deep, bold alto, just wasn't quite fitting for pop music back in the 90s, and it also wasn't overly discernible in the pop field. So in order to help her stand out, she was forced to sing in this unique but unnatural tone. Because of the strain of using that voice for so many years, it's theorised that she's ruined her vocal cords and can no longer sing comfortably in her natural tone. Conservatorship. This entry was originally the lowest tier of the Iceberg, however, a lot of entries actually refer on the knowledge of her conservatorship for context, so I've moved it up to this tier. Under US law, a conservatorship is the appointment by a court order of a guardian who will manage the financial affairs and other personal matters of the conservatee, who for whatever reason has been deemed mentally inept. Following her 2007 public breakdown, Britney's father, Jamie Spears, petitioned a Los Angeles court to place a conservatorship on Britney. He was granted control over decisions relating to her career and financial affairs, as well as personal decisions such as when she can visit her children. Britney would be under this conservatorship from 2008 all the way to 2001. Tier 2. 3 is the most explicit song. So, this entry suggests that out of all of the songs in Britney's discography, 3 is her most explicit and erotic song. Hidden behind the synth pop and EDM instrumental, the lyrics of the track depict a woman who wishes to partake in more than just a friendly night alone with her partner, suggesting that they add one more person into the mix. Or 2 more, when you bridge the song. Although Britney's music doesn't generally shy away from these adult themes anyway, with singles such as If You Seek Amy and Slave For You also clearly depicting a sexual tone, 3's blatant explicit lyrics and lack of innuendo leave absolutely nothing to the imagination. Blackout Deluxe Edition. This entry refers to the fact that even though this is considered by many to be Britney's best album, a deluxe version has never been released. Even though fans have been, extremely vocal about their want for it. Telephone was meant to be on Circus. Although our ears were blessed with the vocals of Lady Gaga and Beyoncé on Gaga's 2009 single Telephone, the song was actually intended to be featured on Britney's album, Circus. Although Britney ultimately rejected the track, a demo of her singing the song actually leaked its way onto the internet in May of 2010. Britney's demo sounds quite different from Gaga's. It's blanketed in an auto-tuned vocal effect, which she's known for, and the chorus is notably tamer compared to the hyperpop version of the final result. Of course, being a demo, it's not like it's a perfect version of the song anyway, so who really knows what the potential of Telephone would have been if it was in Britney's hands? Fans are also quick to point out that sonically it would actually fit the soundscape of Blackout a lot better than Circus. Sound of Britney's microphone. This entry relates to a video that surfaced of Britney's raw, isolated vocals during her Las Vegas residency that sound not great.
She loved me, this Hollywood girl.
Obviously, a show like Britney's requires a crazy amount of physical stamina, so naturally, she may be just a little bit out of breath when she's performing. And sometimes that means that singing well is, impossible. So what we're actually hearing in this video is the recorded feed from the microphone. The audience wouldn't have been hearing this at all, so it would have been mixed with the playback, but it's definitely interesting. BS10. Although when I typed in BS10 into Google, it came up with a postcode in Bristol, it's actually referring to Britney's 10th album, which has been in the works since around 2016, however is yet to come to fruition. The Britney Spears wiki has multiple notable names attached to the work, and a demo list was released in 2018. However, there isn't really much else known about the album. During an interview with the Las Vegas blog, Britney stated, "I'm not sure what I want the next album to sound like. I just know that I'm excited to get into the studio again." Maya Marie sings in Britney Jean. There are a number of people out there who don't actually believe that Britney sang the lead vocals on a number of songs from her 8th studio album Britney Jean, insisting that it was actually Britney's backup singer, Maya Marie, who had previously sung backup on Circus and Femme Fatale. Maya allegedly sang the lead vocals on Passenger as well as multiple other tracks on the album, and critics claim that the vocals within the album sound a lot more like a Britney impersonation rather than, well, Britney. Marie was not included in the credits for Passenger or Perfume, though she was credited as a backing vocalist on a number of other songs from the album. The following year, with the online leak of vocal stems from Alien, it was revealed that Marie's lead vocals were actually featured on this song as well. Britney and Justin Timberlake. Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake dated from 1999 to 2002 and were the it couple of the early 2000s. Although the two met as children, they didn't actually start dating until they were around 18 years old. The real controversy, though, began in 2002 when JT released Cry Me a River. And fans began questioning the relationship, as the song appeared to hint at cheating allegations. Further controversy ensued when the music video was released and it featured a Britney lookalike front and centre. Britney made a response song called Every Time, which was one of Britney's rare ballads, and it tells the story of a girl who wants everything to work out, but comes to the realisation that the world is simply just not fair. Who managed her Instagram? Although some sources state that Britney has multiple social media managers, it's my understanding that Cassie Petrie, who is the co-founder of Crowdsurfer, is, or at least was, the social media manager of Britney's Instagram. Cassie markets for artists such as Backstreet Boys, Camila Cabello, and Guns N' Roses. According to Petrie, Britney would pick out her own photos, write her own captions, and edit her own posts, having full control of what went up on her page. She also states that she has nothing to do with a conservatorship. Tier 3. Blackout demos. An image from 2006 exists where Britney is holding a CD with demos of Blackout on them. Although the photo is difficult to read outright, it is clear that a large number of the original concept songs from Blackout were cut. Blackout went through a large number of unused and unreleased songs before its release, and many of these demos have actually leaked, therefore being fairly easy to find online if you're curious. Britney appears in Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky is a 2004 horror comedy film in which a Britney impersonator, who is an actress by the name of Nadia Dina Arakat, I hope I got that right, makes a cameo playing Britney Spears. In her scene, the main characters, Chucky and Glenn, are driving down the highway and Britney cuts them off in front of them. Chucky then beeps at the car, which results in her flipping them off. Chucky speeds up and rear-ends her car, causing Britney to lose control and go off the road down a hill. Chucky then laughs at her and her car explodes from the impact. And then he says, "Oops, I did it again." Interestingly to note, Britney's management was actually concerned that some may believe that Britney did actually appear in the film for some reason. So a disclaimer was launched during the film's TV spots to disperse confusion. Eminem's tour. The M&Ms, which supposedly means mother because of her children and Miss because of her recent divorce at the time, tour was a 12 to 16 minute concert that took place at House of Blues in May of 2007. The tour consisted of 6 shows, all at House of Blues, and included Britney and 4 backup dancers performing snippets of some of her greatest hits at the time, notably Hit Me Baby One More Time and Toxic. The tour took place after a number of early controversies that Britney is now known for, notably her public breakdown, the head shaving, and rehab admission. The reception was mixed at best, with some fans feeling dissatisfied with the length and quality of the concert. Although lip-synced, this tour proved that Britney wasn't backing down or letting controversy get to her. Lost music videos / lost essences. There are many videos of Britney's that have been scrapped at multiple stages through the development cycle, leaving many to wonder if we'll ever see this lost footage. Break the Ice music video concept. Blackout also blessed fans with Break the Ice, which is not only catchy as all hell, but is unique in the Britney sphere as its music video is entirely animated. Directed by Robert Hales, who has directed for artists such as Justin Timberlake, Miley Cyrus, and my personal favourite, the Veronicas, the music video is action-packed and appears to take place in the same universe as Toxic. Set in a futuristic city where Britney is a super-secret agent, the heroine breaks into a highly secure laboratory and battles it out, in heels, I may add, against evil henchmen before entering a room filled with clones who were submerged in goop. She kisses her clone, placing a literal ticking time bomb on the capsule, and heads over to the leader of the pack, who she kisses and then kills. There is a large amount of speculation that surrounds Break the Ice. Allegedly, the music video was intended to be live action, but due to personal circumstances, aka the assignment of the conservatorship, Britney's team had to instead turn to animation. Original Doll. Original Doll is an unreleased Britney album from 2004 and is notably, arguably, her most well-known. Written back-to-back with In the Zone, it was supposedly intended to be a darker, edgier sequel, but for whatever reason was never released. The only confirmed track off this album is titled Mona Lisa, but I'll talk more about Mona Lisa in a few entries. 55-hour marriage. Britney was famously entangled in a 55-hour marriage with childhood friend Jason Alexander back in 2004. The pair married in Las Vegas when they were 22 years old. However, not even 3 days later, the vows the pair took, under a 24-hour drive-up window, I may add, were annulled through a petition that basically stated that Britney hadn't understood the weight of her actions and it needed to be called off. Now, this story is a little messy. Jason Alexander stated to the ABC News that Brit had invited him to Las Vegas, and although claimed they had been friends with benefits, he wasn't expecting anything more than just a trip away. But in the early hours of the 3rd of January, Brit had asked him to marry her, which was probably pretty surprising, but ultimately not the worst shake, as he claimed to have been in love with her at the time. The two wed at a little white chapel and even hired a lime green stretch limo to escort them to their wedding destination in style. As you'd expect, Britney's family was shocked. Just 55 hours later, the two had signed an annulment that confirmed that their new marriage was actually a mistake. However, divorce lawyer Mark Goldberg has come out claiming that it was actually Britney's mother, Lynn Spears, who actually orchestrated this divorce. Goldberg stated, "It was the mother interfering and inserting herself into her daughter's life." Goldberg told the Daily Mail she came to Las Vegas, threw Jason out, and got him a plane ticket home. Chaotic. Chaotic refers to the 5-episode reality TV series from Britney and ex-husband Kevin Federline. Britney and Kevin Chaotic. The show, consisting primarily of handheld home footage shot by Britney herself, took the audience through the conception, engagement, and marriage between the pair, as well as revealing surprising insights about who Britney is as a person, her motives, beliefs, and dreams. Well, motives, beliefs, and dreams in 2004. Anyway. Intertwined with Britney's vlogs is footage that was intended to be used in a separate reality TV show called Entourage, which... what a great name. Which documented Britney's life during the European leg of the Onyx Hotel tour, which was ultimately cancelled. Chaotic kind of bombed. It has a whopping 2.4 out of 10 stars on IMDb and was torn apart by critics who claimed that Britney appears out of touch and outrageously narcissistic. In 2003, Britney shared her own views on the series, claiming it was probably one of the worst things I've ever done in my career, and said I would never do something like that again. Whitney Jordan. Much like Maya Marie, Whitney Jordan is another artist who has a knack for sounding eerily similar to Britney Spears. A user on YouTube, who has since deleted their account, uploaded one of Whitney's songs, Tougher Than That, claiming it was an unreleased song by Britney called Apple Tree. Also, due to the vocal similarity between Britney and Whitney, her song You Need Me is played during the scene discussed earlier in Seed of Chucky. Hold It Against Me fight. In the music video for Hold It Against Me, Britney fights an intense brawl against herself. The symbolism can be interpreted in a number of ways, however I interpret it as the current Britney of the time fighting the image that she had presented to the world over the years, thus rising up against her controversies of the past. Robot voice. I believe that this entry refers to the electronic sound that Britney's vocals have, I guess you could say, adapted to over the years. If you compare how she sounds on, say, Hit Me Baby One More Time versus Piece of Me, she clearly sounds a little bit more robotic. Valance Music and Remix on TikTok explains super clearly how this was achieved on Piece of Me. Basically, it all comes down to pitch modelling and vocal bending. Super interesting stuff. I'll link it below. 2007 VMAs. The 2007 VMAs performance was intended to be a rebirth of Britney's career, a re-establishment of her persona, if you will, proving that through all of the hardships she was still capable of being a professional, admirable performer. God, 2007 was rough for Brit, as she'd found herself drowning in so much controversy, and many of Britney's supporters, as well as her haters, were keen to watch her headline the VMAs, either to watch her come back or watch the train wreck continue. The performance that they were treated to definitely raised some eyebrows. Something was off. From the bright blue contacts to the stumbling around on stage, Britney appears lost and lacks the energy needed to grasp the audience's attention. Although we'll never know what truly happened to Britney to have performed like this, rumours run wild. Was she drunk? Was she drugged up? Had she had a big night the night before? Or was she just nervous? This performance had a lot of weight resting on her shoulders, and it's important to remember that Britney was at one of the lowest points in her life at this time. She'd lost custody of both of her sons, her husband had filed for divorce, the conservatorship, and she was going through all of this in the public eye. Her rehearsal from the day before was leaked, and she appeared to have had it together, with fans quick to notice that the official performance was also filmed in a way to make her look larger, with her body weight at the time being a highlight for the media. Britney The Zone. The Zone was a pop-up experience in Los Angeles where fans could immerse themselves in Britney's most famous music videos, interact with authentic Britney attire, and indulge themselves in Britney-related merchandise. Some believe, though, that The Zone was a cash grab profiting off of Britney's fame as it was a third-party creation. Although Britney was aware of the event, she wasn't directly involved with its conception or execution, which did leave fans skeptical. Set to open in 2020, it didn't, and the website is still up and running, albeit saying the event is temporarily cancelled. However, you can still purchase as much Britney-related merch as you wish from their website. Domination cancelled. After the success of the Piece of Me Las Vegas residency, Britney was set to stage her second Vegas residency with Domination. Fans were keen to watch their favourite pop star strut and spin across the stage. However, were met with disappointment as Britney cancelled the tour, seemingly without warning as well. Although claiming her father's health as the reason the show was cancelled, this would soon be debunked by an anonymous voice message left by a former paralegal who supposedly worked on the conservatorship. The paralegal claimed that, supposedly, Britney wasn't taking her medication and thus was being held against her will at a mental facility, and that Britney Spears had orchestrated the excuse of ill health. Britney would later reveal in court that she never wanted to do the Piece of Me or Domination residency and was instead coerced into doing it over the promise of seeing her children over the Christmas holidays. Britney and Jamie Lynn fight on Instagram. Britney uses Instagram as what I can only describe as a healing public therapy tool of sorts, and she does not hold back her emotions. This entry refers to Britney and her little sister Jamie Lynn's very public Instagram feud. Although tension had been rising between Brit and Jamie Lynn over the past few years, in 2021 the volcano finally erupted. To quickly summarise, Britney had a go at her family during her court testimony, wishing that she could sue them as they had done nothing while she was under her conservatorship. Jamie Lynn then took to Instagram, pretty much saying that Brit wasn't referring to her specifically when it came to family, and that she was really proud of Britney's achievement in the conservatorship battle. Brit then shut down that comment, claiming, "How dare the people you love the most say anything at all? Did they even put a hand out to lift me up at the time?" She then wrote, "How dare you make it public that now you care? Did you put your hand out when I was drowning?" Again, no. In a second post, Britney then mentioned Jamie Lynn directly, saying that she didn't like when she performed her songs at award shows, pretty much saying that it felt like a slap in the face. Jamie Lynn then responded passively, posting a photo with calming captions such as, "May the peace of the Lord be with you and your spirit." She then deleted that caption. But Brit was having none of it, clapping back by posting a video of her dancing to Bad Guy by Billie Eilish with a caption that read, "May the Lord wrap your mean ass up in joy today." Since then, Britney has also publicly called Jamie Lynn scum after the release of Jamie Lynn's memoir, Things I Should Have Said. Tier 4, #Free Britney. #Free Britney is a movement that gripped the attention of the entire world. The movement was started by a Britney superfan in 2009 and would help bring the 13-year conservatorship into the public eye. It's hard to quantify the effects of the #Free Britney movement, but it's hard to imagine that it didn't at least help in the eventual removal of the conservatorship. Mona Lisa radio demo. On the 30th of December 2004, radio station Kiss FM Los Angeles received news that Britney Spears would be dropping into the studio to debut her demo from a new track called Mona Lisa. Initially dismissing this claim as a prank, DJ Jesse Lozano and the rest of the studio were, well, surprised when a shoeless Britney showed up to the station, record in one hand and a palm of determination in the other. Britney chose to, I guess I can use the term intentionally leak the song without her record label, Jive Records, knowing. Agreeing to an impromptu interview that consisted of 31 words, Brit also dropped the title of the album that Mona Lisa was off, Original Doll, which she claimed would be coming out at some point in the next year. Although Mona Lisa was released on the B-side for the Britney and Kevin Chaotic DVD, mentioned earlier, the original raw, unfinished demo was never played again, and thus has been lost forever. Rebellion MP3. Rebellion is an unreleased song that was recorded in 2006 around the Blackout album phase. The song is reworked from a poem that Britney wrote and speaks on the abuse that she's faced from her team. All we have from the song, however, is a 50-second clip posted by Britney. However, we will be going further into Rebellion deeper into this Iceberg, so stay tuned for that. I Feel So Free With You. I Feel So Free With You is an unreleased collaboration with Pitbull and Mark Anthony. It was originally intended to be a single, however was cancelled. However, like all good things, the song was leaked online in 2019 and is actually available for your viewing pleasure if you wish to do so. Hold On Tight. Hold On Tight is a bonus song from Britney's 8th album, Britney Jean. The specific spelling of this entry, however, refers to how the song had somehow ended up misspelled on some batches of the physical CD release. Gimme More Funeral Version. Gimme More Funeral Version refers to the theory that there is actually a scrapped funeral scene that was originally intended for the Gimme More music video. For context, the Gimme More music video consists of a black-haired Britney performing on a pole, all while a blonde Britney watches. Allegedly, there originally was a scene in which black-haired Britney attends the funeral of blonde-haired Britney. Contextually, you can probably extrapolate this as a commentary on Britney's breaking away from her manufactured good girl image and the life that she's forced to live. Now, there's no formal proof of this scene ever actually being recorded or even planned for that matter, but we do actually have an image of Britney with black hair in what would appear to be funeral attire. But claims suggest this was probably just her outfit to the club that day. Outrageous music video. Outrageous is a song from Britney's 4th album, In the Zone. Although it has the makings of a typical Britney hit, it never actually caught on to the mainstream. And part of this is due to the fact that Outrageous didn't have a music video, which was practically a cardinal sin in the MTV era. Now, there was supposed to be a music video, and it even guest starred Snoop Dogg. However, during filming, Britney injured her knee and was rushed to hospital. The next day, she underwent arthroscopic surgery. The music video was never finished, and Britney has never shown any affection for the song since, rarely even performing it live. Perfume original video. Perfume is a single from Britney's 8th album and is notable for being one of the few ballads to be released as a single. The music video is a relatively stripped down narrative in which Britney plays the role of the quote-unquote other girl in a relationship. However, according to a leak of the original script of the video, had Britney playing a role of a hitman who was hired to kill her lover. The ending of the video sees Britney lying in a hotel room, beaten and bruised, while we see the man that she sacrificed her life for finding happiness. Which at the very least was a little bit more entertaining than what we got. Desert Performance. Desert Performance refers to an odd series of events, to say the least, that occurred in 2013. It all started when there was a countdown on her website which led to a scheduled special announcement on Good Morning America. The hype among fans for this special announcement started to grow when Good Morning America started flying fans out to a desert location and was clearly planning for some spectacle of sorts. Like, we are talking big bloody stage and all the theatrics. This became quite the hot topic in the Britney fandom, as fans were expecting something big. So the day of the announcement finally comes around, and to say it was a letdown would be an understatement. It started off fine, with Britney coming down in a helicopter. However, instead of a career-defining performance, Britney simply announced the Vegas residency and dipped. Unreleased songs. Unreleased songs, as the title would suggest, is in reference to the vast amount of unreleased songs in, or I guess not, in the Britney discography. On the Britney Spears wiki, there are 345 listed unreleased songs, which is pretty crazy considering there are only 170 released songs.
And that feels like an appropriate time to end this video right there. So that was part 1 of the Britney Spears Iceberg. If you're curious about the more obscure entries of this iceberg, why not consider subscribing to Burt's the Moderator so you don't miss out on the last few entries. See you in the next one.